Senator Marsha Blackburn. Senator Blackburn, thanks so much. Great state of Tennessee. Clay is very fond of your state. I'm fond of it too.
It's the best state in America.
Yes, it is. Income tax free.
That's right, because of you.
That's right.
You saved me a lot of money, by the way. I didn't have much money when you were doing the income tax fight, but you've saved me a lot of money now. And by the way, Buck, a huge number of people are still moving to the state of Tennessee because Marsha Blackburn won that fight from all over the country.
I don't want to name names, but I may have spoken to some senior politicians from, say, the Carolinas, both of them, and said, you guys are missing out big time on the flow of capital now because the zero state income tax that Texas, Florida, and Tennessee has, huge benefits for those states and all the incoming population. But all right, Senator Blackburn, here we are at the RNC. You spoke last night. We were there. We watched. Very well done. Very well done, by the way.
Thank you.
We just had Lee Greenwood on. He played right after. How's the president doing? You talked to him.
I think the president is very thoughtful. He is very grateful. He knows that God's hand was on him on Saturday. As we were talking, he never leans forward and turns his head to the left and the right. And he had leaned forward a little bit more than you would have expected him to because he was trying to put his eyes on a chart that he was putting up on the screens. And because he took that movement at that moment, he survived that shot. So he does look at that as being providence, and I am ever so grateful that he's alive and he's well. And I think everyone last night, seeing him walk out, knew that that was an emotional moment for him and his family.
For him to have survived is fabulous. We talked with Eric Trump in the first hour about what that experience was like as a son, sitting with his 6- and 4-year-olds, watching that on television as it all unfolded. I think anybody out there can think about that from a grandpa or a father perspective. Right. But how inexcusable is the failure of the Secret Service to have allowed this situation to even occur? How angry are you about it, and what can we do to have some consequences for that failure?
I think so many lawmakers join me in that righteous anger that they have one mission and one goal. That is it. You keep that individual safe. And when you look at all the missteps and the fact that people in the crowd were going, hey, there's a guy. He's climbing a ladder. He's up on this roof. He's got a gun. He's got a backpack. And the law enforcement saw him. They responded to the people, and they did nothing. This is unbelievable. And we're finding out more. The Senate Republicans sent a letter. We did it out of frustration. I had called for the Secret Service director to call me, Director Cheadle. I placed a call on Saturday night, heard nothing, still no response from her to a senator on the Senate Judiciary Committee calling and saying, hey, we need some answers, and we don't just need one press conference where you stand up and say, well, you know, this happened.
And Senator, as someone who sits on the Senate Judiciary Committee, I understand there's needs to get more information. You want to hear from the individual responsible at the Secret Service for the entity, the organization. But I also want to know, do you feel like we know enough already that a resignation or a firing by Biden should occur? A resignation of the Secret Service director, yeah.
Right, and she should have been called in the carpet. He should have called her to the office that night and said, you've got to explain this, because we wouldn't want that happening to Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or JD Vance as a running mate. We would not want this to happen. And for it to happen and for 48 hours to go by and we're still not getting answers and clarification, I think it's completely unacceptable. She at least should step aside. When you look at the FBI, the DOJ, the Secret Service, the politicization of these agencies, that has got to be dealt with. And I am very hopeful that President Donald Trump is going to have a government reform czar that is going to ride herd over this and deal with right-sizing and refocusing the mission of these agencies. And, I mean, look at what's happened in the Department of Defense. My goodness. Get the woke out of the military.
Amen. You have served for the past 2 years with JD Vance. A lot of people are just learning about JD Vance since he is the official vice presidential nominee now. What can you tell us about JD Vance? What would you want our audience to know about your experience working with him?
Yeah, I'm on the executive committee for the steering committee, which is the conservatives in the Senate, and JD has been a part of that. So we've had some great meetings. He comes from the younger, more libertarian wing of the Republican Party. He will help build a bigger tent. He is going to bring some Republicans our direction that are more focused on tech issues, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, things of that nature. I am pleased with that. They're also going to hear that JD is very much aligned with President Trump in much of his agenda. That's a good thing. He's a great communicator. He's fearless. His life story is intriguing, growing up in severe poverty, a very kind of a dysfunctional childhood, realizing he was smart, which he did when he went to the military, and then finishing at Ohio State and going to Yale. His wife, Usha, is so accomplished. They have those 3 young kids. I think this is going to be the strongest ticket that we have seen in a very long time.
And Senator Blackburn, we know that Donald Trump's speech at the end of the RNC is it's really building to that, right? That's
right.
The pinnacle moment. And while there's a lot of great stuff going on, you gave a great speech last night.
Thanks.
And there's a lot of conversation happening between people that are as motivated to be a part of the Trump movement as we've ever seen them. I mean, people who have been with Trump from the very beginning are telling me, I've never been more invested in this than I am right now. What are your expectations as somebody who is close to the president, who talks to the president, about what the overarching message is going to be?
Yes, and what you're going to see is that message of making America great again. People are tired of being broke. And right now, the inflation is up over 20%. And this is why we simplified the platform. And it is not the 100 pages, it's 16 pages. It's dedicated to the forgotten men and women. It deals with those kitchen table issues that people are dealing with every day, with the border, with the economy, getting boys out of girls' sports. All of those issues we hear about daily. People can go to my MarshaBlackburn.com website and pull a copy of that platform down. And I encourage them to read it. They will see the focus that these are the 20 things we as Republicans promise to you we are going to do. And somebody said, well, it's really kind of a truncated version. I said, no, it is a trump-cated version because he read it, he reviewed it, he edited this.
Yes.
You know, you can see his edits. They're in all caps. No tax on tips.
I love the 20 bullet points that you guys did. And I know how much work that requires. I thought it was fantastically synthesized for people who are super busy. You should go read the whole thing.
Yeah.
But if you just want to see the 20 points, I thought it was fantastic. You did really great work on that. Your husband has great taste in radio.
He does.
Yes.
I don't know that I've ever given you the opportunity to give him a shout out on this program, which he likes to listen to. So behind every great politician is a fabulous spouse, some of whom have tremendous taste in radio. Would you like to say hi to your husband who might well be listening?
Yes, my husband, Chuck Blackburn, who probably is listening right now while he's in the gym working out. And he is a big Clay and Buck fan, and he is the world's best husband. I can't believe we've been married for so long.
How many years?
49 years. Can you believe
You're
that?
going to have your 50th coming up
Yes.
soon? That is
Do you
so
know what
exciting.
you're doing for fit? Because I've got 20 next month, and I'm going to be honest, my wife might be listening right now. Figuring out 20 is tough. 50, do you guys have something special planned? Do you know? He's on the hook solely for himself?
He is.
Yeah, I know.
He's got to figure this one out
I know.
alone.
I'm nervous about 20. I'm not going to lie. Senator Blackburn, you've got an election. You're going to win. You're going to win big. But for people out there that are like me, that are one of your constituents in Tennessee, or people listening right now who may want to support you, what can they do for this election year?
Oh, listen, go to MarshaBlackburn.com and follow the race. Put some money in the campaign kitty.
Yes.
You know, everybody, $5, $10, $25, it all helps out. And we know it's going to be an expensive race, but we are ready for it.
Amen. And you're going to have a Senate majority, we believe, very soon.
Yes, we will.
That's Marsha Blackburn, guys. Encourage you, MarshaBlackburn.com. She does fabulous work. Congrats on the speech last night.
Oh, thank you. It was awesome. You know what? To be able to speak and then have Lee Greenwood follow me and then the president come in.
It was electric.
It
was
was
an electric
so
night.
electric to be able to give that go Donald Trump speech and then have that lead in. It was awesome.
No doubt. We'll talk to you again soon. Good luck on
it.
the campaign, and thanks again for that RNC platform. I think you did really, really good work.
Thank you.
And by the way, Marsha Blackburn and her husband, who has fantastic radio listening taste, 49 years of marriage, amazing energy. They don't need chalk. But you know who does? Joe Biden. He doesn't have the energy to do his job. You probably are, maybe it's Tuesday and you're thinking, it feels a little bit more like Wednesday or Thursday. Maybe you need a little bit more energy in your life right now. You can get it from our friends at Chalk. Buddy Seaton, he's a Texan. He'll hook you up right now. They manufacture right here in the good old USA only natural herbal supplements, clinically proven to have game-changing effects on your energy, focus, and mood. Again, get that vim, vigor, vitality roaring with Chalk. Testosterone. A lot of men out there have a incredibly reduced testosterone level. You have about half the level that your grandfather might have had. You can get 20% all-natural increase in 3 months of using Chalk. Check it out, CHOQ.com. Use my name, Clay. Massive discount on any subscription for life. And maybe you're out there and you're saying, you know what, Clay, I don't love going on the internet. Maybe I get a little bit nervous. Maybe you do about going to CHOQ.com. Well, how about checking out right now? Call them. You can get on the phone, U.S.-based customer service team. Call 50-CHALK-3000. That's 50-CHALK-3000. Say Clay and Buck sent me. Do it today.